What's up, guys? It's your boy Batangi. Apologies for the lack of me for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Your boys had assignments. Get on to that. Anyway, today's video is very different, but I feel personally I have the responsibility due to what I do. I really try to take this YouTube thing seriously, so I also have the same responsibility as anyone to talk about such an issue. I'm not saying that if you don't talk about it, you don't feel the issue, but I just feel like I'm a vocal person, so I might as well just sit down and talk about this. So, unless you live under a rock or you have no access to any form of media and communication, you know what has happened this week. You know the two major incidents of racism in the U.S. The unfortunate killing of George Floyd and the Amy Cooper incident. And I think we all need to have a discussion of racism. Racism isn't strictly an American thing. Every country seems to have it, to be honest, in some sort of way, and it's shameful because we should not be in this day and age not accepting because of color, because of race, because of ethnicity. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, so let me just get to it. Let's look at Kenya, our home, for example. Let's look at it. It's easy for us to point fingers at what's going on in America and make so much noise here, but not focus on our issue. And our biggest issue here, whether we like it or not, is tribalism. Tribalism and racism are the same thing. They simply are the same thing. We have such casual conversations, or not even casual, and we've seen what tribalism can do to our country. Our country burned in 2007 because of loose comments from politicians who created a racial stir, a racial pot. And it's a major problem for us because, again, it's tough for us to talk about it because it's our families, it's our uncles, it's our parents in some cases, it's our the older generation, not that old, it's the 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds who can talk and say, oh, let's not go there because it's Kikuyus, or oh, Kikuyus just love money, or oh, Luos just love doing this and stuff. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy for a country. So we have lots of racism here that it's time as a nation we address. It's that simple. And it's not just us. You can look at any country in the world, especially a lot of tribes, where there's so much racism that we need to acknowledge and deal with. It's that simple. Anyway, I guess there's also the police brutality which we experience, but that's not the topic of this video, even though it's a shame that police who should be doing their job, protecting people, are killing people here. Because of curfew, it's an abuse of power, and it's honestly shame on all those police officers. The wholesale racism for me it's the same thing almost applies in the US. You look at the 40, 50-year-olds and olders, from there, the amount of racism they perpetuate. My prayer is that this generation, our generation, makes a change. We cut this. We end it. Anyone our age, I don't care what your parents have taught you about black people, about Muslim people, about whatever. It's time for you to look and realize that we are human beings as well. Everyone's a human being. Treat everyone like a human being and make sure that you pass these values to your children. It's that simple, because the values that these cops have who can kill a black person for no reason, or that random white family who can trail a black person for no reason and kill them. And bear in mind, there's so much we don't know. We only know the ones that have been, I want to say fortunate. It's not fortunate because they died, obviously, but fortunate in the sense that they had bystanders who filmed and we were able to see what's going on. Like, other people just don't have that privilege. A lot of people go, and you saw the autopsy report where they're saying, oh, underlying health conditions plus possible intoxicants. It's the way they frame it is like, yo, It's not the cop's fault, but we've all seen the video. If you put your knee on someone's neck, they die because it's there's blood supply to the brain. It goes. There's no blood supply to the brain. It's done. MMA doesn't even allow you to use that chokehold because it kills. It kills very very fast, and the cop knew that. But as I was saying, it's the same thing about the whole generations, and we need to make a change. I'm praying that our children grow up in a less racially charged environment. That's my only prayer, to be honest, because I think right now it's we I, we need a solution. But as long as those beliefs are so strong into people, nothing's gonna change. That's just my opinion. This isn't whites versus blacks. This is everybody versus racism. If you're finding yourself getting offended because of this, and you know that whole all lives matter thing, well, practically, yes, every single life matters. But the thing is, if you get cut and you have five brothers, your mother doesn't treat everyone. She treats the brother that got cut. So this apply this to racism. Black people are getting killed. White people have privilege, whether we like it or not. White people have privilege. And this leads to my next point. It's everybody versus racism. If you're of white color right now and you're sitting there getting offended because of all this, then you're racist because you should not be offended. You should be seeing what's happening because you don't want that to happen to you. I don't care what you say, there is white privilege. White privilege is present, especially in America and European countries, UK, all those stuff. It's there. It's there. A white person doesn't get killed like that. In fact, a white mass killer, or in my opinion, a terrorist, can kill 23 people and be escorted cordially into prison. That's so I'm just saying, like, for me, I'm not too worried about what people post or not, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, I see on everyone's story basically are now saying, oh, if you're my white friend and you haven't posted, then shame on you and blah blah blah. We've watched. My problem with that is, yeah, if they don't care, they don't care. If you shout that out, people will keep up appearances and post on their social media, oh, Black Lives Matter, but do they really feel it deep inside? No. So I'm not worried about social media. It's what you do when people aren't watching that makes you who you are. Because it's easy to play for appearances on social media, but are you raising awareness for racist incidents? Are you raising awareness of what you can do? Are you talking to your family about this? Are you signing petitions? Are you contributing to fundraisers? Are you, all in all, feeling the pain and willing in your head that you want to change for the world? Change doesn't happen from sitting there and not doing anything. Everyone needs to feel the hurt. Everyone needs to understand that this isn't fair. This is wrong. And as a result, we must, as a race, the human race, come together and put an end to this and say enough is enough. Whether you like it or not, riots are a cause of oppression. You don't just riot unless you're oppressed. You can't tell me, oh, why can they do it peacefully? Because people have tried to do it peacefully and guys just shut them down. People have tried everything. You have to speak the language of the people you're talking to. These cops don't understand peace, evidently. So what happens? People react. I'm not advocating for violence because I personally would prefer if everything was peaceful, but the truth is it can't be. There's absolutely no way it can be peaceful because that's the situation they've been in 400 years plus of major oppression. Things aren't getting better. We all have this, oh, it's not the 60s, at least black people can do this, which is progress, but it's not enough. It's not enough to say that at least now we have the same rights as everyone in public, but we're still treated like ass when it comes to police or other stuff. Nothing new you haven't heard, but I just feel like it needs to be said and needs to be constantly said because people need to remember that your life is not the same to other people's lives, and it's not just black people. It's Muslim people. It's Latinas. It's minority groups. Let's just say minority groups. And if you have a problem with this whole thing, then you're racist. It's just that the truth. And you are the problem. You are the type of people we need to get rid of for society to make a change for the better. There's a better times ahead, and I just pray that people take incidents like this and realize that it's time. It's time for people to appreciate that things are different. That things need to change. My bad. And at the end of the day, culture is what makes us beautiful. Like we live in a world that's so integrated that we have so many different cultures. But at the same time, when black people are struggling, when minority groups are struggling, you have to support them. You don't just use our culture for your own fun because it's not fun for us. You can see it's not fun. Lots of people in America are worried that could be them. It could easily have been them. So it's not fun. So if you're gonna do everything black, even fight for the right to say N word, I mean, that for me is just stupid. Like I don't get why people want to say the N word. What does it benefit you to say it? And people, I've seen enough people. I'm not gonna name and shame, but I've seen enough people. You know yourselves. I know you. You know yourselves. And we used to be friends. Some wasn't even friends. Where you've said stuff you're not supposed to say, but you just continued and brushed it off because I was singing a song. I didn't mean to say it badly. But where are you now trying to support the cause? You don't feel our pain. You just use our culture. You don't care. You just see what's going on your timeline and you move on. So my point is we all need to come together and end this once and for all. Because as far as I'm concerned, coronavirus is deadly, yes, but racism is deadlier. And whether you agree with that or not, that's just up to you. I'm right, and if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. It's that simple. Anyway, thank you guys for this. Just had to rant. And it probably doesn't make sense. But again, as I said, YouTube is my thing. It's becoming my thing. So this is just me getting what's on my chest off my chest. Video coming out tomorrow, by the way. I'm back on the posting schedule. And take care.